Welcome back.
Welcome back
to another episode. Of The Unfortunate Reality. And we must discuss the latest apple pie recipe. I'm just kidding. Of course, we're going to discuss Donald Trump being almost assassinated in Pennsylvania. Where to start?
Oh, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened. Oh.
5 shots. They will always bust his head. If he would have went for his chest, of course, that probably wouldn't have killed him.
Okay, yeah, so we were reading this interesting detail on AP News. Butler County Sheriff Michael Sloop told the AP that a local officer climbed to the roof and encountered Crooks, who saw the officer and turned toward him. Just before the officer dropped down to safety, Sloop said the officer couldn't have wielded his own gun under the circumstances. The officer retreated down the ladder, and Crooks quickly took a shot toward Trump, and that's when Secret Service snipers shot him, according to 2 officials who spoke to AP. So it went from several people saying that there's a shooter on the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
Well, first CNN just said it was loud noises.
Yeah.
And then
so many false reportings about it.
For like 6 or 7 hours after it happened. Several false
Trump
reportings.
falls and hurts himself.
Yeah, a piece of glass flew into his face from... And like I said yesterday, let's play the game Candace Owens on her show, where she was like, oh, if it's not gunfire, then what the hell was being fired? What were those loud shots? If not gunfire.
Yeah. Pretty clear that he was being shot at.
Very obvious. And for 6 or 7 hours on Saturday, July 13th, the leftist propaganda machine decided they were going to try and convince everybody that it was just noise, it was just glass, it wasn't really a shooter. So it went from not being a shooter to nobody knowing about the shooter to people announcing that there was a shooter, which they were yelling and screaming through the crowd, there's a shooter on the roof, there's a shooter on the roof. And now we have an actual cop that was on the roof at the time, couldn't secure his weapon, scurried down the ladder, and he still got a shot at Trump before Secret Service ever saw him. So I don't know, something just sounds majorly fishy about this story.
Yeah, does that mean Joe Biden's, he's all, you missed?
Yeah. Well, they're also talking about how, what's the shooter's name?
Thomas Matthew Crooks.
Yeah, Thomas Matthew Crooks. So he had a social media account that had no information on it whatsoever. He's a 20-year-old. He's a Gen Z with no social media.
And the FBI can't get into his phone still. They can't even look at his messages. This happened.
The FBI that's probably watching this video before anybody else is going to watch this video can't get into this kid's phone. Nothing to see here, folks. Just a random 20-year-old guy that registered as a Republican 8 months before this shooting happened, but also donated to a Biden campaign.
Yeah.
$15. And I guess it gave Biden the greatest gift of all, which was taking out his competitor. I'm almost 100% positive that was the entire plot behind this.
Well, that backfired for them. Saying he's president already.
Yeah. Dude, they just keep making him stronger. They keep thinking they're gonna take it down. But buckle up, America, because they're not done. There's plenty of other ways to take out leaders that they don't want in office. So, gonna have to buckle up the next 4 months. We looked at his picture yesterday, and it's just, I feel like this is the most typical looking school shooter ever. Like, not even school shooter, but just the most typical looking guy that would be involved in shooting somebody or multiple people.
It's crazy.
And he was severely bullied. They talked to a couple people in his town, but not a lot of people talked to him. He's an extremely quiet person that was bullied. I feel like this was their perfect target. Like, they picked him. They handpicked him. And
yeah, that's a rabbit hole to go down, right?
yeah, but I feel like the rabbit holes now just lead to truth.
Yeah. Well, in time will tell. It'll come out eventually.
Oh yeah, don't worry guys, the FBI is on the case. The same guy that hid Hunter Biden's laptop from us, the same guys that invaded Trump's home to find documentation to legally indict him for a kangaroo court case, they're on the case. So we're going to have answers real soon here. They picked this guy out and they sent him up on that roof. And I think, like, pick somebody who is purposely not very good with a gun, so that way they could be like, it wasn't us. If it was us, we would have hired, like, a sniper. Why would we hire this guy if we could hire a sniper, Anybody we wanted to. So I feel like it's just a perfect cover-up.
Yeah.
But typical Democrats, sloppy work, too many people saw, and now it's on the internet for the eyes to see. And I think you're definitely right. Donald Trump won the election.
Yeah.
But I do want people that are listening to know that doesn't mean we can kick our feet up and that it's over. We still got to get out there and vote like hell on November 5th.
Don't forget, go get registered right now.
Go get registered to vote. You don't want to be trying to get registered to vote by November 5th. You want to be ready to register to vote November 5th. Oh, he might have won the election with the best, most iconic lines and just the imagery of what happened.
Oh, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Okay. I think, too, he was saying, let me get my shoes, let me get my shoes. I think they knocked him so hard to the ground that his shoes really flew off. Before he was like, wait, to stand up.
Expensive shoes.
I'm sure they are. It is Donald Trump, of course. He's like, those are my favorite Walmart tennis shoes.
He's like, holy crap, you guys hit me hard.
Yeah, seriously.
And he's like, yeah, fight.
Fight. And that's when Donald Trump won the 2024 elections. I love the end too when he's like, he puts his hand up, and he's like, carry me out, like, I'm done now, carry me out. Dude, but they had a close-up of his ear, and it, like, went just right there. And there was actually a meme, there's actually a picture that came out today showing us, and a lot of people are just, like, focused on the trajectory and the building, and it was 450 feet away, and why wasn't there Secret Service on every single rooftop? Well, because he had, like, 30% women Secret Service out there because of Catalina Cheetah or whatever her freaking name is.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
Decided the freaking why is the Secret Service being ran by a woman in the first place?
It's ridiculous. You get a big ass guy up there, and he's gonna take on a few women before he gets to it's a man's job.
Would you go to a bar and take a woman bouncer seriously? I mean, you think like two guys brawling at a bar that are drunk and they're like, "No, you kiss my lady," and like, "No, guys, let's get out." You think a tiny girl? That's not who you want as a bouncer.
Yeah, clearly.
So why on earth would you want to have Secret Service women? Those, like, it looked so ridiculous too. Like, the most they did was like shut the door of the car and just kind of look out at the crowd. They didn't even have their guns out. They were like struggling the whole time to get their gun out of their holsters.
She couldn't even get her gun back in the holster.
She couldn't even get her gun. She's like, "I can get my gun back in the holster," and she's like sitting there like, I'm like, so these aren't even like trained women, like with guns. They looked
like they were panicking hard.
They look like they were panicking so hard because that's what women do in bad situations. We panic. We should not be there. Yeah, what a terrible decision that was. Wow, DEI really coming through for the Democrats, right? Almost took out their opponent just simply by putting a couple women where men should have been. And CNN actually caught the bullet on camera.
One of the guys took that photo.
Whizzing into his ear. And if he didn't look down at that chart, it would have went through and not through.
Yep, really close.
Our world would have changed drastically. I don't know, man. It kind of makes me believe in the power of prayer. I know Christians are out there praying every single day for his safety and livelihood, and that we make it through this. And I do believe in, good conquering evil.
When the flag turned into an angel.
We see what we want to see sometimes, I feel like. But at the same time, your ear is not very far from your skull. It's not like they hit him, nicked him in the shoulder, or he put his hand up or something like that. Literally his earlobe saved his freaking life. And it does kind of seem like something intervened there. I believe if enough people unanimously want something, that the higher powers, whatever they may be, do here, Yeah. Millions of people praying. I mean, it's not just Americans, conservative Americans that are praying that he makes it through this. It's people from other countries. Putin. I don't think Trump, actually I know Trump doesn't agree with everything that Putin says. And he's America first. We're America first. As long as Putin is going to stay where Putin's supposed to be, nobody should be worried about it. But I feel like we should all be worried about it so long as Mr. Biden, who has to be in bed at 8 p.m., and if something does happen, we have no commander-in-chief after 8 p.m. That's a pretty long window of time to attack us.
Yeah.
And he's currently waging war by continuing this Ukraine nonsense and letting people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking America's laundromat. The lizard people's laundromat. Gosh, I'll just never get over that there's an entire part of our nation that literally believes that there's a righteous war going on over there, and the Democrats are literally the heroes of this situation when they're using them as a laundromat and to wage World War III. And because Trump and Putin have I don't even know if you'd call it a friendship, just an acquaintanceship. They like each other, they respect each other. That means Trump is gonna put us in World War III. I feel like he's trying to do the opposite of that.
Yeah.
And when he stood up and told everyone to fight, we haven't seen strength like that in our country in a long time.
Yep. Don't forget to vote.
It changed everyone's mind. I think it changed a lot of people's minds. It's always gonna be the Democrats, the never Trumpers. I saw the most sickening stuff on Facebook and on X. So many just strong Democrats and Joe Biden voters. Yeah, they still exist, guys. There are still people that are planning on voting for Joe Biden. Horrifying.
TikTok videos were pretty sickening.
Just disturbing.
Yeah, you should play one.
Yeah, alright, I'll play a TikTok video.
I just found out about this shit. It just happened. I haven't even had a second to process. You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew, and he missed! We were a second away! We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed! There was a white man attached to that trigger. I know it! We were a centimeter away! Ah!
Where she was just screaming in her car about missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was
It's
disgusting.
disgusting.
That was really disturbing. I mean, the man is still a father, still grandfather, still a husband.
Wishing
Yeah.
he would die is kind of gross.
Isn't it kind of weird that the entire left that's all, we're against violence and guns and shooting, are on TikTok screaming and crying about how they missed and didn't murder someone? A little hypocritical.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I actually wrote today on Facebook, I said, the same people who think it's funny to joke about someone almost losing their life, especially a former president, are the same people that'll blame Republicans for school shootings.
Yeah.
They don't care. They have no class. They have no moral standings. That's kind of the whole, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. It's exactly what they are. They have no moral integrity whatsoever. They just think they're on the right side of history because they're fighting for freedom that we already had. And now we're fighting to take back the freedom that they want to take from us. From saving us from this culture war that they've started and basically almost won. They pretty much won when they let men into women's restrooms.
Yeah.
They won when they gave Leah Thompson the trophy, you know. They won when they didn't have to tell us what was in the vaccine, but demanded that we get the vaccine.
Yeah. Didn't get that.
Nope.
Don't trust the science.
I don't think that the FBI is ever going to give us the truth. I don't think they're going to give us the truth about Epstein's Island, what was in the COVID vaccine, what happens on those elite camping trips where they're out in the woods drinking children blood. The super elite, what is it, the 0.001%, they go and camp in the woods. They're never going to tell us. They know. They're never going to tell us. Quite disgusting, the world that we're living in. Trump announced his running mate, J.D. Vance.
Yep.
We like
From
J.D.
Ohio.
Vance. He's a good guy. He was a never Trumper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Trump said what? Now he loves him.
Yeah, he said some bad things about me, but that was before he knew me, and then he fell in love.
He liked me, but now he's in love with me.
Yeah.
After he met me. I feel like, I hear that a lot. Even people that don't get a chance to actually meet Trump in person, once they watch, like, a couple videos of Trump, or they actually, like, read one of his books, or do any minor investigating on him besides just believing TikTok videos and crappy news network reels and always bullshitting channel. I think after they like get out of that fog and they actually do just a little bit of research, they're like, yeah, I hated Trump. And then I found out he was an okay guy. And we're like, yeah, that's what we've all been trying. That was the conspiracy, that Trump is actually a decent human being. That's the conspiracy. And none of us are racist. And most of us, quite frankly, don't give a crap about gay marriage either.
Yep.
Pretty much just keep it where it belongs.
To themselves.
To themselves. Exactly. The rest of us just don't. And we don't want to. So stop trying to get us to. You Marxist freaks.
Bring your extra pair of underwear.
You don't always have to say that. It's going to be a rough ride, though, so you should bring an extra pair of underwear. These next 4 months are going to be crucial and critical. We've got to keep our eyes open. We've got to make sure that we are investigating and holding the FBI accountable, holding the Biden administration accountable, and making sure that we, the people, are getting the answers that we deserve. Because we deserve to have answers to what happened to Trump on July 13th. We want to know. And we're going to find out. As always, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful week. Hug your children, and may the odds be ever in your favor.